Warning, the views and beliefs in the following program does not reflect the views of Boom Broadcasting. We give full creative control to our creators and do not believe in cancel culture. As a wise man once said, when we're on the Nightcap, there is zero miedo. Viewer discretion is advised.
Live from the MOWM studio, Boom Broadcasting presents The Nightcap. And your host of The Nightcap, mouthing off with Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nightcap here on Boom Broadcasting, hosted by yours truly, Mouthing Off with Mike. And ladies and gentlemen, live, fresh from his debut on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Penta. What's going on tonight, Penta? How was your Raw debut?
You know, it was exactly how it was supposed to go. I won. I'm home. And now I'm here at the Nightcap where I belong.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him as the man that makes him say, oh, damn. He is the host of 3 Count Trivia. He is 1/4 of 4 sides of the ring. That is my main man. That's Nit Ram. What's going on tonight, good brother? I love the mask. You look so damn good.
Yeah, like I said, if I would have had the face paint, it would look so much better. But I think everybody who's buying a mask today on www.shop.com will figure that out.
Let's be real about it. About 8 hours ago, it was WWE Shop with the worst kept secret unveiled that we had some Penta merch in WWE Shop, and the timeline went crazy, Nit Ram. I did in fact purchase the mask, guys. You will see the mask in April. You and I will come back on the Raw whenever they decide to ship this thing. And we'll come on the Raw Nightcap and we'll both wear our masks and we'll become the Lucha Brothers,
Hey, man. As it should be. Because I also ordered the mask.
So we're going to be, not only are we going to be the Lucha Brothers, we're going to be the Lucha Twin Brothers. Double masked up here on the Nightcap. The Prez ain't going to know what to do with himself. We're going to get him in the middle of both of the shenanigans. Nit Ram, it's great to have you back on the show. Much love to you. Much love to 4 Sides of the Ring. You guys just dropped an episode last week. The founder has his episode with Tattoo Artist, which was a great. Check that out. Nit Ram, last week was the Netflix debut of Raw. This week is episode 2. And I think a lot of people are in agreement with this. I think episode 2 was way better than episode 1. Before we start breaking down everything from the opening segment to the main event in this 2.5-hour action-packed episode of Raw on Netflix from San Jose, Nit Ram, big differences between episode 1 and episode 2. Give me your 3 takeaways from last week to this week and what made this show better.
The matches were better. We'll start with that. I don't care what anyone says. The matches were better. And I feel like episode 1 was so corporate. It was so, we're here to please Netflix. We're here to please this. They had Dwayne come out, shout out all these people. I don't need any of that in my wrestling. This week, it was back to story-driven focus. Last week had no story-driven focus at all, except for John Cena declaring for the Rumble. And I told a lot of people this. I said, when it comes to that, it was New Year's Eve, Evil for NXT, Dynamite, Raw on Netflix for me, as far as last week went. This week, Netflix starting off hot.
Yeah, this puts you, if you're looking at this from a perspective of wrestling company to wrestling company, man, this puts Tony Khan behind that 8 ball this week when it comes to Dynamite and Collision. I mean, we've already seen the fallout from the match that was announced for Collision this week. We're not even going to touch on that tonight because we got a lot to talk about with Raw. I agree. I think those are the 3 key takeaways. I think overall, the only thing that you're missing from last week, story-driven wise, was Rhea and Liv. That was story-driven. That does kind of finish a story. Doesn't necessarily doesn't start a story. It finishes one. I agree. The matches this week in a completely different bracket here. Wayne,
also,
the commish.
Just gonna throw it out there. The world champion was on TV. I didn't like that he was just a promo last week. This is your world champion. This is the champion of your channel. He should be on TV every week.
Especially for the debut episode of your show. That's your show. You're the champ of that show. I agree. Having a pre-tape Gunther segment last week was I think you missed the mark. I think we missed the mark a few things last week, and this isn't the roast of last week's episode, but it just goes to show you. Wayne, I texted the Boom Boys earlier, and I said, episode 2 was for us, Nitram. Episode 1 was for the person who has a Netflix subscription who just saw on social media that Raw's on Netflix. They're like, oh, what the hell? I'm going to watch this. I don't have anything else going. I finished Squid Game season 2, so I don't got nothing else to watch. This week was for us. Now, do you think that trend continues where next week's show will be for the casuals, the week after will be for us? Or
man. Next week's for the casuals, man. They're bringing JBL in. Next week's for the casuals.
So we're going to have this alternating.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like NXT was like that for a while when it was on the CW. It was like we had one really awesome show that felt like NXT, one legend show, one great show, one we brought main roster people show. So you gotta keep it a balance.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna have to find that balance over the next couple of weeks. Logan James, welcome back to the Nightcap. I haven't seen this name in about a week here. He's not happy that Nia showed up during the Rio promo. Io Sky is gonna be showing up for Rhea. I mean, that's a good favorite for the Royal Rumble, that's for sure.
Someone has to show for Rhea. That's not Liv.
Someone
who's not Liv.
Anybody but Liv Morgan. Suddenly, Liv Morgan to SmackDown, Nitram. Do you agree or disagree? Send her to SmackDown with Raquel?
Yeah, transfer her out. Her out.
Hit that transfer window, girl. It's time to hit the transfer portal. Like this was college football. This AEW guy doesn't know what to do after tonight's Raw. I mean, that is telling a lot, man. ZWC, great matches, good show. The ending felt abrupt. Guess we'll have to get used to not knowing what time it'll actually end. Yeah, it's
I liked it. I love that aspect. I don't know what it is.
It kind of screws things up for us. I mean, for the.
I was ready.
Not that it matters, but like I don't know what time we're going live. Got to keep the people in tune. So that's tough for the content side for us and our world, which doesn't matter in the world of WWE. But I don't know. I like knowing when things finish. Like I like to know, like, all right, we're gonna go 2.5 this week. All right, I know we're gonna be done at 8:30. Mentally prepare for that. Like. This, because who's to say an episode of Raw couldn't be, just 2 hours, then boom, you're done. Like out of nowhere, you're like, oh, that's it? That's the show? Which I feel like we're going to have shows like that.
I'm waiting for the shortest episode of Raw history. That's what I'm waiting for.
It's going to happen.
One match, good 30-minute Iron Man match with a 15-minute promo to start the show. And that's all it is. The shortest episode of Raw history.
I wouldn't be surprised if we were to see something like that. Like I wouldn't be mad at WWE utilizing this formula for like a special for like Raw, like a Netflix Raw special where you do like maybe King and Queen of the Ring happens on a Monday Night Raw. You do the first hour, first hour dedicated to that, commercial free, or 30 minutes commercial free, dedicated to the women's, dedicated to the men's, something like. I mean, you're in the ballpark. I'm expecting. I would. That's crazy. That's a really. You got me because I'd be pissed to watch Raw and all of a sudden it's done in an hour. I'd be like, now what do I do?
Exactly. You wouldn't know what to do with your time. That's the best
part. Go live.
We were all complaining 3 hours is too long. 2 hours is too short. And now we got 2.5 and we're just like, well, what do we do with this extra bit of time?
You come on over to Boom Broadcasting, your 4 sides of the ring. You come on in and you watch the Nightcap. That's what you do, ladies and gentlemen. Wayne said, as long as they use the time correctly, I don't mind. That main event went hard. I was just happy to get a satisfying banger. Satisfying, maybe. Banger, maybe. We'll talk about it in a few minutes. Nitram, let's start where we started here just about 2.5 hours ago with CM Punk kicking off Monday Night Raw, acknowledging John Cena, declaring himself for the Royal Rumble, and we get his BFFs, his boyfriends, his soulmates in wrestling, whatever you want to call them, whatever the internet wrestling community's calling them this week. We've got Seth Rollins. We've got Drew McIntyre. Nitram, they played this man's music, but it wasn't his. It was Seth Rollins, which I thought was a very funny touch. He asked for his music to be played. Are these three guys destined to do this forever? Is this like a wrestling trio made in history or whatever?
Man, I like that it's two stories combined into one. You know what I mean? It's your CM Punk against two guys who are mad that he left and came back, pretty much. And then you have Drew McIntyre, who has the CM Punk feud, but Drew McIntyre, who also has this I hate Roman Reigns feud. And look at you, bro. You just let him win last week. And then Seth's like, I hate this guy because he left and came back. And he's also like, bro, I had nothing to do with that match. What's your issue, Drew? So I like that it's going in two different aspects. Next week's match should cook, of course. But yeah, man, for the Rumble, man, they're really stacking them up, aren't they? Roman Reigns, John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, I assume, because he just went out and pretty much proclaimed, like,
he's in.
Stacking it
Jey
up.
Uso, LA Knight,
who I think should win.
That's that.
If not him, Brock Lesnar.
Oh God, I don't even think the people want to see that either. Nevertheless, listen, there's a lot of key points here. Number one, first and foremost, no matter what rivalry, story, whatever, it always comes back to the damn bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Everything runs through that bloodline story.
It's the big old tree of WWE at this point. The heart is the bloodline. Everything moves through the bloodline at this point.
Because you got CM Punk who teamed with them in War Games. You got Seth Rollins with the Shield. You got Drew McIntyre who was screwed over countless times. You've got all these different elements, all these different aspects, these sides to it. I thought this was a really good opening to Monday Night Raw. A little talk heavy, obviously, but that's what Raw is going to always be for the first 20 minutes. But I thought they nailed this, man. I thought Seth being in agreement with Punk at one point in that whole thing, while they're going at each other, then Drew comes out, and then they both kind of are like, well, if you're not going to take up his offer, then that offer stands for me. So it was like weird seeing these dynamics shift where it's like they're on the same page, but they're not on the same page.
And Drew kills it because Drew goes out there, and Drew's just like, it's like looking in a mirror. Like, you guys are exactly the same person. And I was like, oh, he killed it. There were a lot of one-liners that just killed people tonight.
The promos have been incredible from Drew McIntyre. I mean, we know he's the hater of the year 2024, but he is continuing his momentum 100%. The one-liners here, all of these guys in the Royal Rumble, that is combustible. Like my prediction is Seth or Punk eliminates the other in this Royal Rumble match, thus kicking up part 2 for them.
Seth and Punk both eliminate Drew together. Seth throws out Punk. Punk throws out Seth while not in the match.
Oh, brother, what are you?
That Ms. Johnson.
It's that easy.
It's that easy.
It's that. Oh man, I mean, I was gonna even you could even get crazy here and even make the claim, Roman Reigns eliminates Seth. Set some breadcrumbs up.
Keeps it going.
Keeps everything going.
Or Drew comes back and eliminates Seth, and now they all eliminated each other. Triple threat.
Elimination chamber type vibe.
Or it's Joe Hendry. I don't know where he came from, but he came out of nowhere.
He's coming.
He got some eliminations.
I expect that to be one of the most deafening crowd pops ever.
Dude, not if it's cringy though. I don't want it to be. Look, I have this big fear that this is exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be someone gets jumped on their way to the ring. Adam Pearce is not going to know what to do, and he's going to say, well, we have to fill in this spot. Nick Aldis is going to say, then do the thing, and he's going to say Joe Hendry, and you're going to see his face just turn around because they said his name. And I'm so scared that it's going to be that cheesy.
But that's perfect for him. That's so good. That's so good. That would be so good. I'd be down for anything. I'd be even down for like an R-Truth interaction with him or something, in the Rumble. Like I'll take anything at that point. I think.
Does R-Truth call him Jeff Jarrett?
That'd be hilarious, dude. calls him Simon Dean or something. It's like, oh my God, Simon Dean. I used to get your what was it called? The Simon, what was it? The Simon system? The Simon system, right? It was the Simon system.
It's on with the Elias, you don't work here no more. Just something.
Something, dude.
Just something.
Oh, this must be Ezekiel or something. This is Ezekiel. Something, dude. I need something off the puck. Royal Rumble, absolutely stacked. We still only have one women's Royal Rumble participant at this moment, which was announced later, being Nia Jax. Nitram, most stacked Royal Rumble. I'm asking everybody this. We're going to move on here to what everyone wants to talk about. Who's your pick right now to win the Royal Rumble?
For men?
For men.
Jey Uso.
All right. Yeet. I can get behind that. The much anticipated debut of yourself, Penta. Chad Gable versus Penta in the year of 2025 on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Nitram, I don't even know what to. It still hasn't sunk in that this man right here,
gorgeous,
is a WWE superstar.
Yeah, it's something to sink in, man. But enjoy it while it lasts. And remember, I said this, Mike. Enjoy it while it lasts, because that 3 is a 3-month push. WWE has the worst track records with luchadors, and everyone's so excited. Besides Rey Mysterio, name a luchador they done justice by.
Dragon Lee.
Dragon Lee hasn't been seen on TV in months. Come on, try another one.
Damn. All right.
Axiom? You know what I mean?
Like, Axiom, yeah. Kalisto had a solid run for a bit.
Oh, yeah, Lucha House Party.
I mean, I'm trying to give you a positive spin here.
I understand. I'm just saying it worries me because they don't have a good track record with luchador wrestlers. And even if you consider like Andrade, for example, who's not a luchador in the aspect of WWE, but comes from luchador family, his track record, he did a great 7-on series to lose to Shinsuke, and now what is he doing? 3-month push. Merchandise seller, 3-month push.
I don't know, dude. If those masks hit the top 5 seller in WWE shop this week, you might be having to extend that 3-month push to maybe a 5 or a 6-month push, because you could get every colorway. You could be, listen, the marketing standpoint, you could be having mask colors for every city he's in. You could have the Joker one, the Venom one, the Carnage one, all of the mask varieties.
And that's great. Do you think Penta's a world champion in WWE?
Oh, gee. I mean, after tonight, I'd put the strap on him. I'll put the rocket to him. Aura alone. I'm not booking the shit, but yeah, I put the world title on Penta just for the sake of putting the world title on Penta. A month run, 2-month run. Hell yeah, I would. Why not?
But do you believe they'll do it?
No,
his age and status right now. I'm not talking Intercontinental. I'm not talking United States champion. Do you believe there's 2 world championships in this company? Do you believe he holds either or?
Nah, probably not. Probably not.
So since Rey Mysterio, name me a luchador they done justice by.
You win. I rest my case. You win. You're right. It's tough until we see the proof, in the push. Then yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Then we're gonna have to kind of play this out. But overall, man,
staying positive. Great match. It's Penta,
great match.
Swaggy
Chad Gable.
He didn't do the glove thing. I kept waiting for it.
He did not.
I kept waiting for it. The moment he does it at the pay-per-view, it's gonna be the biggest pop.
It's just the vibes alone. Couple notable things here, Nitram. Lucha Underground.
Yes.
Mentioned on Raw. That solidified it for me right there. I was like, you know what? They're willing to mention that. They're gonna got the machine is behind him, dude. The machine's behind him.
Mention every company he's been in except for one.
Maybe they got a little Miedo, maybe a little fear of mentioning the old elite over there.
I remember everybody was like, "Oh, Ray Phoenix is going to be in the crowd." I was like, "They're not going to show him on TV, even if he was. They would not do him like that. He's already in deep shit."
Nah, I mean WWE could get into huge drama with that if they were to ever, if
Right.
that were to be a thing. They'd be sued and they'd have to be held up. He'd be held up even longer. He may never escape AEW. Michael Cole also said, "Welcome to the big leagues tonight." That's a big subtle jab right there.
Is he wrong?
Listen, I'm not going to get in trouble with the AEW fans, but
look, I love AEW as much as the next person, but like, look at the center stage. AEW is a 6-year-old company, in a sense. WWE's been around 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. They're the big leagues. I mean, it's AAA to CMML. You know what I mean? One's just been around forever, and one hasn't. You can like one or the other, but one of them is still the big leagues. Just saying.
No, yeah, it's true. No, you're right. You're 100% right. It's like it's like the NFL and the
the Flag
US
Football League, whatever it is. Yeah.
It's like same type of vibe there. The XFL. I hear you. Shout out to Dommy Feds. They hitched some sort of wagon to him tonight. Yeah, I mean, they definitely did. They gave him a promo. That promo was solid, man.
Oh, it was nice. It was nice.
Great promo. I don't speak Spanish. Shame on me at this point. I should know at least something here.
Me too, Mike.
Shame on both of us in that case. But a lot of it, from what I kind of saw translated, on social media, a lot about, how this is the era, thank you to, the fans and, about his Mexican heritage and, look at what a Mexican, wrestler is doing. He's in he's in WWE. He's so grateful to be there. His whole family's in the front row, I think his wife and his 3 or 4 daughters, daughters crying. Like, dude, so much tonight was captured. I mean, and for me personally, here's where things get a little bit crazy. There was a lot of talk this week. I don't know if you saw it on social media. This might be me basically admitting I guess I'm chronically on social media, but not really. I saw a lot of hubbub about, oh, well, Penta was supposed to debut last week on Netflix and this and that. And, look how they, buried him. I hate that fucking word. Man, I hate that word. I wish wrestling fans would take that out of their vocabulary, because a wrestler's not buried unless they're backstage in catering for months on end. Then we can talk about what a burial is in that
Shorty
sense.
G was a burial. That just didn't
Shorty
work.
G was a burial. Exactly.
That just didn't
Good
work.
example.
You know what I mean? But
it was never meant to work. Nevertheless, a lot of hubbub about, oh, well, you should have debuted on the main episode, the debut episode in LA. And let's be real here. Tonight's whole overarching episode of Raw was 3 things: Penta, the women's IC title, and the street fight that ended it. Those were the 3 big things tonight on Raw. Penta, dare I say, might have topped everything.
he was trending.
He's trending. The whole crowd, Zero, Miedo, multiple times.
There was a girl in the crowd with the same exact mask, and I was like, holy crap, I'm there.
The multiverse of Penta. Listen, you got Triple H. You got Triple H, dog, hitting the Zero Miedo with the guy.
So I don't know if you remember these rumors back in the day, just to cover up on it. Right before AEW, 2019, when they were making all their announcements, the rumor was Triple H did want the Lucha Brothers, but Vince was only sold on bringing in Penta and not Rey Fenix. And because AEW was willing to take both as a duo, that's why they signed with AEW in the first place. So when Penta says, I dreamed about this forever, I believe him. But he just didn't want to leave his brother behind. And in this situation, it all kind of worked out the way it was supposed to, because your brother got left behind.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother element of this thing here is like the guy got out of the contract. He's done, wraps it up. His poor brother, obviously we know everything going on with, AEW and that whole situation. But that's a really great point. And Dami Feds also brings up the point. If Penta did debut last week, it gets lost in the shuffle. Absolutely. It does not hit the way it hits. And dare I say, I think I think the combustible elements with San Jose, and I think that crowd kind of having a baseline appreciation for him. We're in the Bay Area. Who's big in the Bay Area, Nitram? The San Francisco 49ers. Bailey. Well, yeah, Bailey. The Niners. Yeah. Who's one of the most over players, when it comes to fans and everything? George Kittle. Who's George Kittle's favorite wrestler? Penta. That's it, man. Like I saw the guy in the Niners Penta mask, the one that he gave to Kittle a couple years ago.
It's pretty
super cool, super sick. I need one for my Eagles. I ain't wearing no Niners gear on this side, but I'll gladly rock the Penta Eagles edition any day of the week. Kurt Angle's son, a legitimate son here tonight. Shout out to ZWC. Did dirty. Listen. He looked like baby Kurt Angle, dog. I tweeted about it. The singlet, the crowd chanting, "You suck." Him having, the phrase that the pose, everything, dude. He looked like copy paste. That's Kurt Angle's kid. To this day, it should have been Chad as the illegitimate son. Like, let's
100%.
forget about 28-19 story and 2018 storytelling. But my God, dude, Chad Gable made Penta look so good tonight, selling everything. The Canadian Destroyer, now known as the Mexican Destroyer for Penta, the sacrifice and the Penta driver, dude, everything. I think this was a perfect debut. What would you say if this isn't a perfect debut for him? What would you say would have made this a perfect debut?
I didn't want it to be a 50-50 match. Now, hear me out. Chad Gable was perfect because Penta's a luchador, but he's a technical luchador. His graps are very technical. Chad Gable's probably the best technical wrestler on that roster at the moment. But I don't know, something about Chad Gable isn't taken seriously anymore. And I mean, I hate to say it. He's a great competitor, but he's not like, oh, I should be. Chad Gable just went 50-50 with Otis last week. I don't need him going 50-50 with Penta. That's how I feel about it.
I see that point.
I think he could have got some quick offense in, some cheeky, heel maneuvers, and Penta should have came out strong, hit the big 4 moves of doom, and then move on to someone else where it could be 50-50. But debut, I want you to look strong as possible. And you just went 50-50 with a guy who went 50-50 with Otis.
And a guy who has been on a serious losing streak, too.
Exactly.
So, I see your points. I see it. I respect the hell out of that viewpoint because that's valid. I don't understand what's going on here with American Made. I mean, dude, I thought they were going to SmackDown. Now they're not. Now they're not going to SmackDown. They're staying on Raw. The Wyatt Six are going to SmackDown instead. I'll kind of skip ahead a little bit. Wyatt Six got moved to SmackDown. I don't like that decision at all. We were texting through the show. The Final Testament feud never got a resolution. That's it. There's no resolution unless this is a swerve by Cross to mess with the Miz or something, but I don't see it.
I think now that I had time to kind of digest, this is just a way to move the Final Testament also to SmackDown without the Miz.
Oh,
so Miz was like, what are we going to do? He was like, we. And he just laughed and kind of left. So I think this is a way to separate the Miz away from the Final Testament because otherwise, how else are we going to get there? But if Final Testament stays on Raw, I don't get it.
Yeah, if they end up staying on Raw, I don't really understand it at all.
But the Wyatt's on SmackDown also makes sense, so I'm okay with it.
Wyatt's on SmackDown makes sense for a couple different reasons. I see your point. Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa's over there. You've got the Bloodline. That's definitely something that could be kind of tapped into. Nevertheless, I think American Made should be headed to SmackDown too.
They could head catering. I don't really care for it anymore, man.
Well, big ball drop on the whole Triple H stuff. I mean, I'm not even going to get into that. I mean, this should have been the Creed brothers should have already won tag titles or something at this point.
100%.
Chad should have already won a mid-card championship by now. I think
it should have been a reincarnation of America's Best Tag Team. Like they had all the elements. And they just keep dropping the ball because it's Chad Gable.
It's a damn shame. Too, he's so good, man. I feel like Chad Gable's is going to slowly become what? The Dolph Ziggler of this era?
The Shelton Benjamin of this era.
Oh, that's a killer, dude. I mean, Shelton's so good. Look at what Shelton's doing right now. I think Shelton's one of the main reasons I'll tune into an AEW, Dynamite these days. But Penta, the rocket is strapped to his back, dude. Look, come on. This is what it's about right here. Look at that, man.
So
shout out to Mike Davis, the Prez over at Boom Broadcasting, pointed out. I can't zoom in, but if you're on your screen, you can, zoom in or whatever. On the glove still says the Lucha Brothers. So I don't know if these are just recycled gloves. He, threw them out of the old wardrobe. But Lucha Brothers still on the palm of the hand. So maybe a little shout out to his brother, Ray Phoenix. A little
lawsuit comes out over gloves.
That'd be
tomorrow's edited out.
That'd be vicious, dog. I'm gonna just leave the people with one last picture, man. Just know that this happened tonight in a WWE ring. That right there, I couldn't have asked for a better anything, dude.
The mask had teeth coming out. Oh, so great.
I'm a mark, dude. I'm a mark for Penta. I think you and I can both agree that we are big Penta guys. Lucha Underground, Impact, even AEW, man. I love Penta. I love the guy.
This is my first time seeing him ever. What makes you think that I would know who Penta is?
I mean, I'm sure the people who tuned in last week, they probably were sitting there scratching their heads like, who's this guy? But after you watch him go, now you know. You know what I'm saying? Triple H did Penta right tonight, from the presentation to handing him the mic afterwards. Well done. Yes. 10 out of 10. Very rare that I'll give something a 10 out of 10. That was a 10 out of 10 for me, Nit Ram. That was a 10 out of 10. Doesn't get much better than that. We got some trouble in paradise, my man. Last week, Dirty Dom got his huevos kicked by Rhea Ripley. And he brought some flowers here tonight. Brought a nice bouquet of roses for Liv. Liv said, all right, Dom, I'm not mad at you. Go get my bags. Go get Raquel's bags. Get the valet ready. Dom, I got some news for you. She's mad. She's mad. Breakup coming up here, Nitram. Is it finally time for Dirty Dom's single run, for the four sides of the ring's agenda to be made clear and evident for Dom to get that world title?
Dirty Dom is going to get the biggest baby face pop.
It's going to be insane
when they jump him.
It's
going to be crazy, because we're going to love the fact that Dominic Mysterio is getting jumped, and then we're going to love Dominic Mysterio. And I'm so excited for it, man. The way the progress this kid has made constantly, every year. I mean, he's 2 years from being legit superstar of the business. And I mean superstars. Like, the man is the poster boy. 2 years away.
I listen. It's weird to it's like, whatever. I'm gonna sound like a what do you call it? An old head here, but nevertheless, it's so cool to watch Dom over these last few years, because we're all similar in ages, right?
Uh-huh.
It's like watching your friend, right? It's like watching your friend make it in WWE. It's like we know this guy. We watched him as a kid, as an 8-year-old kid, watching his uncle and his father, battle it out for custody of him. We've known him our entire life since we were 8 years old. It's like watching your friend grow up and become a WWE wrestler. It's watching the Zombie King. It's watching Top Notch Dyson Bennett. It's watching TJ Brady. It's watching all the wrestlers that we know and interact with, independent level, whatever the case may be. It's like watching them, make it in professional wrestling. We don't even know the guy. I've never met the guy in my life, but I feel so happy for the guy, right? Like, forget about, the business side of it. Like, seeing this dude go out there weekly and get the crowd reactions that he does, it's so freaking cool, man. So I hope so, man. I think that's a guy, man, you gotta really keep a close eye on. I think you're right. I think within the next 2 years, he's the business, man.
Uh-huh.
He's the biz.
He's gonna have that Eddie charm, man. It's something.
He's gonna have that Eddie charm and that Rey Mysterio moveset, man, sprinkled in with the greatest hits of Eddie and just that. I can't wait to see it, man. I can't wait to see it. I love it. I love it. Liv, listen, I will say, shout out to my man Shannon, host of Quick Hits here on Boom Broadcasting. He told you, Dom, from the very beginning. He said it in Ram. He said he knew a couple girls like Liv. He said his advice is to run. Dom should have ran when he had the chance, because now it's too late for our boy Dominic Mysterio. It's too late.
You can always transfer out to SmackDown and get with Tiffany. Stay with the world champs. Stay with the world champs.
There it is. Right on time. I'm hitting Tiffany up to see if that offer stands. Dom about to be wearing pink next week with a little glitter sprinkled in. Just trying to send some smoke signals in the sky over there to Tiffany. Like, hey, look, I can wear pink. Don't worry. I can wear glitter. I'm a big Sabrina Carpenter fan. Don't worry. That Me Espresso. I'm down with you, girl.
It's Dommy time.
It's Dom. Boy. We're not repeating that one. Oh boy. I think that's a different website for a different time, even after the Nightcap.
Yeah, you know. My bad. North Carolina, we got censors on our internet, so you know.
Should have put some damn. Never mind. We're not gonna take it there.
So wrestling.
My man. I was gonna say. Oh no. I can hear the drum riff in my ears as we speak. Listen. Talking about banger after banger. We got Sheamus taking on Ludwig Kaiser. Nitram, you and I, we're on the same wavelength. You know ball, much like I know ball. Everyone wants to say how jealous they are of Ludwig Kaiser because he's dating Tiffany. Nah. Wrong. I'm jealous of Tiffany Stratton. You see that handsome European?
That man is gorgeous.
Son of a gun.
He's got great posture. He's a gorgeous man.
Incredible posture. Extraordinarily handsome. I don't even need to use my washing machine. I could use his abs to wash my clothes.
That's what I'm saying.
The jawline. He's got a better jawline than the Rizzler. He's hitting that Riz phase just every day.
Every day I get something, I'm like, oh, can you read this to me? He'll be like, chocolate chip cookies. I'm like, oh yeah, that's good enough for me, bro. Come here, come on.
My man, read the dictionary to me, please.
And we should all be jealous of Tiffany Stratton.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? They are going to roast the shit out of us for this segment. Your boys at Four Sides, my boys at Boom. It's over. We're getting cooked here in the group chat. In the group chats that we're not in. Wayne said he gives Kaiser 5 big booms. Boom, 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 boom. I'm fucking brain rotted, dog. The brain rot of the internet. I only have what do we only have 6 more days till TikTok is gone. Sheamus with the banger and chill name drop. What's the same? Banger and chill, dude. Oh God, I hardly know her. Anyway. Y'all wild. LOL dude look like a male Barbie doll. My man is a Ken doll. He's the body.
I'm trying to tell you. I'm sitting next to my dad on the couch. My dad's trying to watch football on his phone. He's still in the living room with me. I said, Dad, look at the screen real quick. Not trying to be weird. That's a handsome man, right?
Listen,
my dad looked at me and said, I mean, he's a handsome looking fella. I was like, that's what I'm saying.
So that's it. Listen, hear me out, folks. Listen, if you can't acknowledge someone as handsome, as a fellow man to man, what happened to men hyping up men? What happened to that subsection of the internet? You know, now it's a lot of hate going on. You know, nobody's hyping up each other. You know what I'm saying? You know, what happened to commenting? Thanks for letting me, borrow your Lamborghini. You know, thanks for saving my dog from the tree. You know, when a guy posts a tweet, or something talking about he's going on a date. We're here to hype up men. You know what I'm saying? My man Kaiser, that's a handsome fella. Listen, much like you could appreciate, a Ryan Reynolds. You know, I'm gonna be real. If they end up making a Barbie 2, I better see Ludwig Kaiser in that bad boy as Ken.
Beach Barbie.
Posing.
Yep. Beach Ken.
Beach whatever, dog. European Ken, whatever.
Perfect Ken. So that's what he has to be.
Rain said, that's how I felt watching Jaden Daniels last night. Motherfucker is pretty. Jaden Daniels also a handsome young fella. My man, I know my man when he was going to Arizona State was.
But is Jaden Daniels' girlfriend or wife a champion? Don't think so.
Don't think so.
Ludwig Kaiser, he got it all.
He gets it. Listen, Kaiser Sheamus, great match. Sheamus wins Nitram, and it's been announced. Sheamus versus Braun Breaker at Saturday night's main event, January 25th. Is it finally time for Sheamus to do the unthinkable?
Do you want to hear my crazy fantasy on this?
Oh, please. We have so much to talk about, but let's go.
Sheamus, I'll make it quick. Sheamus wins the title. It's the only one he ever needed, right? Cena loses the Rumble, doesn't have Mania plans, gets lost. Sheamus says, if this is your last Mania, fight me for the title that Cena needs to be Grand Slam champion as well.
And you tie it all back to 2009 when Cena.
It's a tables match.
To the tables match. I mean, listen, I would not be mad at that. Now, albeit you guys have your agendas, I have mine. Cena should win the Royal Rumble this year. Nevertheless, I do like that. I would love to see Sheamus do it one more time. And if it was for the IC title, put that icing on the cake. Chef's kiss. You're cooking. This would be cinema. Whatever. Fill in the blank. That's very Skibbity, Ohio of you. I don't know. Whatever. Listen, I'll always be your advocate, Mike. Appreciate you, homie. Shout out to Main Event Nate, man. You can catch him on Main Event Fridays over on Twitter. Go check him out. Great guy. Great, good brother. Forget be like Mike. We could be like Ludwig. No offense, MLWM. None taken. Listen, I'm trying to be like Ludwig Kaiser. So I'm gonna have to hit him up. Be like, yo, Kaiser, what's the deal? What do I got to do to look like you? How many years do I got to go? Because I'm willing to put the time in, dog. I'm trying to be on that level. Listen, speaking of Ludwig Kaiser, speaking of Imperium, speaking of the world champion, Gunther's here. Finally, a week late in our opinions. If you heard our monologue in the beginning, Jey Uso challenges him to the world title. Yeet. At Saturday night's main event. So we've got 2 matches now for the pay-per-view or whatever. Not even pay-per-view, but Saturday night special in 2 weeks, in 12 days. Any chance Jey Uso pulls this off?
No, not this one. Jey Uso wins the Rumble and gets one final shot at the guy he can't beat at WrestleMania, where Jey Uso will get his Mania moment.
Wow. That is, I think it comes later in this year. I think Money in the Bank. Not saying you're wrong. I think with how this upper card is right now, dude, you have to make the argument for potentially Gunther, Cena. I still think Gunther drops the title at some point. And and if there was something coming down the pipeline, you're going to hate me for this. It's Goldberg versus Gunther at WrestleMania.
Without the strap, I can't do it.
Yeah,
Gunther versus Goldberg at Mexico, man. That sounds right.
Yo, here's the kicker: we don't even know if Backlash is in Mexico for sure.
I'm so excited.
Bad Bunny read somebody's fake booking tweet about doing it, and I don't think that's actually set in stone.
But what we do know is Bad Bunny definitely coming back now.
Yeah, Bad Bunny definitely coming back now at some point. Nah, dude, I'm telling you, if I'm right, then he's dropping this title either now or at the Rumble. There's no in betweens. It's now or never. Because we know that there's no reason for Goldberg to interact with Gunther all those months ago, unless that was a plan. It has to be.
Well, then do you think it's Jey Uso wins at the Rumble, not the match? Roman wins the Rumble match and instead of challenging Cody, goes after his little cuz.
Jay. Whew. That's something. I mean, we're getting into some fantasy booking here. I mean, that is a scenario. I mean, I think somehow you got to figure the world title's going to skate back to Seth, Punk and Seth. It's going to get there eventually. How it gets there, I don't fucking know.
Rumors they want Punk and Roman.
I mean, dude, let's be real here. Last year, this time, we knew what the situation was. Let's be real. Forget about the press conference. Forget about Vegas. Forget about the final boss. Forget about all that BS. We knew at this current juncture that it was going to be Cody winning the Rumble number 2, going to WrestleMania to take on Roman part 2. Like, that was clear and cut. We knew Seth was going to end up getting Punk. That didn't happen. Seth ended up getting Drew. That made sense. This year, dog, I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
They got so many options. So many audibles.
That's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. But
you know what I'm saying?
It leads people like us to leave our fantasy booking.
And it gives us a hell of a lot to talk about.
When one comes right, we can go on each other's shows and be like, I told you. I told you.
Right around.
Triple H listens.
Triple H is listening, and that's for damn sure. He's got the burner. Main event Nate said, yeet now. Yes. I mean, I would love it. I think it would be a great business decision. I think the merch you could push. I think you could have Jay have a nice little run here. I don't think he holds it till Mania, but neither here nor there. I think you could do it. And then ultimately you got to go Goldberg Gunther. That's a retirement match. Goldberg gets sent on his merry way by one of the most intimidating, vicious,
it's Goldberg.
Modern day superstars.
Mike, it's Goldberg. He's gonna win his final match.
No, he's not. No, the fuck.
It's Goldberg. He's gonna hit a spear, a jackhammer, and a sharpshooter and win.
If Goldberg could jackhammer Gunther, I will. Hear me out. If that ends up happening, if that match ends up happening, and we're live, we're recorded. This is gonna be available on demand at any point on Boom Broadcasting. So I guess I'll have to eat my words at that point. If Goldberg and Gunther ends up happening at WrestleMania, and Goldberg beats him, I will do something for you and 4 sides of the ring.
Oh, snap. Pizza party in the office.
I'll get you some Costco pizzas and I'll cut them slices in half so everyone can have a slice. I would probably buy you whatever freaking t-shirt or whatever mask of Pentas that's selling on WWE Shop at that point, at that rate. I'd have no choice because you said it here. Damn. But nevertheless, we got more to talk about here. We got to talk about this Women's Intercontinental Championship final. Dakota Kai versus Lyra Valkyria. I predicted the finals. I nailed the finals from the get-go. I said it was going to be Dakota and Lyra. I said Dakota was going to win. I was wrong. Lyra Valkyria is the new and inaugural Women's Intercontinental Champion. Nitram, what are your thoughts on this picture here?
It should have been Zelina Vega, but Lyra is the right choice. Hey, your inner body equal won't let you say that, Mike. Now,
could have been Zelina. I'm not gonna dismiss this woman's accomplishment for that conversation. No. Nevertheless,
but she was the right choice. And there's a lot of reasons to it. Dakota Kai's older. Dakota Kai doesn't need it at this point in her career. She's constantly on TV. I think that if they have something planned for her, she'll get tag belts. She'll ride out Damage Control. Dakota Kai also has a very bad track history of getting injured. And when it comes to that, I don't want the first inaugural champion to be a Finn Balor.
Damn, that's tough. That's valid. No, it is. I agree to that. It's no secret Dakota's had some serious knee injuries. She's, 36, 37?
Yeah, 36, I believe.
36. So I see the perspective on that side of things. Now, this sets up what I've been saying for a while. To be honest with you, it's going to be Irish woman versus Irish woman at WrestleMania for that Intercontinental Championship, brother.
I mean, yeah, I guess what else do you do with Becky, right?
That's
I
it.
mean,
Mentor protege. That's what you do right here.
that was the NXT match as well, wasn't it?
Yep. That was the one Lyra beater for the NXT title.
Yeah, you run that back, makes it sound good. She says, I already beat you. Becky gets her pop. Does Becky put her over?
Oh, boy. Becky just lost last year at WrestleMania.
Uh-huh. Took a hiatus.
If she comes back Rumble, loses in the Rumble, loses in the Chamber, maybe she gets a last chance, kind of play that story up. You probably see Becky win the IC title, I think, at Mania against her, if it ends up happening.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to eventually because they want to be Grand Slam champions now. I was thinking about that the other day. It's also a way to keep Charlotte away from the main title at this point.
It is.
I like it. But yeah, no, I'm all for running that NXT. That was a good NXT match. So run that feud back with Becky having the doubts of, can I beat this girl? Because I trained all last time and couldn't do it. And I just took a year off. What if I can't do it again?
You got to also figure maybe Becky's going to run that as a heel.
Yeah.
You got to think. I mean, if Lyra's a baby face. I mean, you can't turn her. I don't even know what kind of heel character I get from her. But, off the cuff, like, she's too, squeaky clean, in my opinion.
But are we booing Becky? Is there any way we're booing Becky? This is like when people were talking about, the John Cena Cody Rhodes match, and I was like, yeah, but who are we booing?
It's a let's go Cena, let's go Cody split crowd. That's for sure. If that's the case, you're not booing anyone here. I think you got to think maybe if the New Day can get booed the way they did, you got to give some. There's got to be a huge, like a massive catalyst for that Becky, for the heat from Becky. Maybe she comes out and says, F the fans. You guys didn't care about me. You forgot about me. I never heard my name chanted. You guys didn't ask where I was every week. You only cared about your favorites and this woman and that woman.
She comes out with real American beer merch.
It's over.
Forget it. She's the spokesperson for Mr. Hulk Hogan. Dude, she getting booed. I'm just saying, getting booed.
Listen, if the Prez is finding me for F-bombs for the swear jar, we're gonna turn HH into a swearable jar offense. You can't say that name. That's a swear. Nathan said if Io Sky had shown up during Rhea Ripley's promo, it would have made my night even better. Triple H needs to make an Io Sky versus Penta match happen. I'm talking full Lucha Underground vibe. Seriously. Nathan.
Chelsea Green versus Penta for the United States Women's Championship.
Let's get crazy, baby. We're going to do Penta versus Io versus Chelsea Green in a triple threat, no holds bar, falls count anywhere.
WWE going to call a Lucha Underground match, too. They're going to be like, Lucha Underground style fight.
You've heard of street fights. You've heard of Donnie Brooks. You've heard of bar brawls. You've heard of backstage brawls. Now we present to you the Lucha Underground brawl fight, street forever brawl.
Everyone's going to get involved too. Karrion Kross is going to come back. It's going to have a bunch of cameos.
He's coming back as the White Rabbit. They're going to call up Brian Kendrick up in this bitch. They're going to say, hey, come on over. We got some work for you, brother. They're going to call Paul London up. They're going to, hey, Paul, what do you think? You think you can come back with Kross? Talk about it.
Ray and Chavo. Hey, Dom was in Lucha Underground. People forget.
No, it wasn't.
He was in 4 episodes.
Dom Mysterio?
Yeah.
What like towards the end of the show or the beginning?
Helps Ray. It's in
God,
you're
right. Ray. I forgot about that. We're gonna get what's his name? Oh my God, what was his name? The guy who ran the show. What was his name?
Come
on.
I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, guys, what was his name? It's on the tip of my tongue. Oh my God.
Because there was Conan. And then
right, you had Vampiro on commentary with Matt Stryker, which was wow. That was what a sentence that is. Guys, come on. What was his name?
Google.
Oh, Google GTS that. Google that shit. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name because I went to an Azteca Underground show and I had like I went through like the little office area for the MLW show, WrestleMania Dallas weekend, and he's like, "Oh, you think you could take a kick?" And I was like, "Yeah, I could take a kick." He was like, "You think you could take a kick in the balls?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not? Put me in a ring, coach. Put me in, coach."
It's mad funny. It's Dario
Cueto.
Yes, but who was portrayed by an actor named Luis Fernandez. That wasn't the real guy, Mike. The guy you know is Luis Fernandez.
What? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Hold on a sec.
Give that guy an Oscar. His whole life, no one knew who he was.
No way. All right, that's crazy, dog. Nathan's believing in Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan at WrestleMania 41. I don't know about that.
I'm so tired of seeing Liv on my TV. I'm so tired of seeing Rhea.
Send her to SmackDown.
They need stuff to do, not with each other.
SmackDown. Liv Morgan, you're coming back to the Blue Brand at some point. You and Raquel, get your butts over to SmackDown. Nia's going to be on Raw. You know, we saw that whole thing with Rhea Ripley and everything there. One final piece on this here. Who is Lyra's first challenger? Is it a rematch with Dakota like they did with the U.S. Women's? Or is it a new face?
Is Kairi Sane actually injured? I never followed
She's actually injured.
Damn. I would say that would have made sense.
That was my pick.
That's a good question. I would prefer it. Zelina Vega is always my answer. But I prefer someone who wasn't in the tournament. So that way they could just be like, I didn't even get a chance. You are champion because I wasn't in the tournament. And I don't care who it is. It could be a Shayna. No, Shayna was in it. There's got to be someone on that roster who wasn't in it.
Sonya.
Yep. And then her girls are like, yo, why are you talking trash? We was in that tournament.
Whoa, that's so fat. That's valid. Yeah, I think Sonya's a safe bet. I mean, she had a lot to say about that tournament to begin with. Lyra versus Sonya, that's a good. I could see it. I like it. Comments. Put your comments. Who's your prediction, folks? We're gonna go ahead and move on here. To Sami Zayn beating the Miz with a Blue Thunder Bomb. This is a rare occurrence. This is like I don't know what this is like. This is like hitting a 10-leg parlay. This is like a 10-leg parlay hit. Blue Thunder Bomb wins a match. I mean, it's the Miz. Put some respect on the Miz's name, but
it's a level 1 boss. You know what I mean?
Level 1 boss.
Level 1 boss. Just you don't need to bring out the R1X square special. You know what I'm saying? The simple quick L1 will do. Chill. I love the Miz. I love the Miz, but the facts are the facts. He's a level 1 boss. He's great at it though, and killed Sammy in that promo.
Wow, we got dude. Yeah, first of all, the whole Wyatt 6 thing, Final Testament, could be like a ploy for you, like you said. Get the Miz, keep the Miz on Raw. Rhea Ripley, I didn't add it here, but we have to discuss it. Rhea Ripley, I nailed this promo as she's talking. I'm literally saying out loud to my girlfriend, saying, "Okay, Rhea's gonna say, mommy's back on top. Check. She's gonna say." The division, she got the title back. She never lost. Check. Someone's going to interrupt and announce they're going to be for the Royal Rumble and they're going to come for her title. Check. The only thing I was missing on this segment bingo card was a Liv Morgan interruption, which did not happen. Nia Jax looks like she is now a part of the Raw roster. And I said this last week. Where do you go from here? You send Nia over to Raw to mix it up with Rhea and reignite that feud from last year. Great decision overall. I'm happy with this. I'm good with this.
Yeah, we need fillers till Mania because we all know the Queen is coming back. And you know who don't miss, especially at Mania? Charlotte and Rhea.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? You think Charlotte and Rhea part 2 at Mania?
At Mania.
I thought Charlotte Tiffany.
See, I was thinking that too, but they like specifically brought up, I think it was last week, that about how her and Charlotte were like bitter rivals until she had her personality change and all this other stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna run it all the way back, run it back to her NXT, run it back to everything, just so we can get that second Mania match, which will be 5 stars because they don't miss.
They don't miss. Honestly, that Mania 39 match could be that's going to be a top 5 women's match in history one day. They'll talk about that match for years to come. I wonder if they'll talk about this street fight for years to come with Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Ram, before we get into it, I want to say I was just perusing the timeline, and Corey Graves just posted a very interesting tweet. I guess this is the first for everything here on the Nightcap because we got a little breaking news. Corey Graves just tweeted, imagine chasing your dream, then being told, not deciding that you're no longer physically able to pursue your dream. Then you dedicate your life to something dream adjacent and being pretty fucking awesome at it. And then when it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, being told you're not famous enough for your own job, just in case you've wondered where I've been. Oh, shit. That's a lot, dog.
It's a work.
Think so?
Hear me out.
Corey Graves, Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee.
Fuck yes. Yeah. Yeah. I could co-sign that with you.
I think that's what they, Corey's cleared. Pat's fabulously safe. He doesn't get enough credit. He doesn't. He's really good in the ring for what he needs to do. He'll do his couple
Pat
spots.
McAfee, Adam Cole was a better match than some of the matches Adam Cole's had on AEW with actual wrestlers.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? So let it do it. Let Corey get his moment. He's never going to get it again. He doesn't need to do it again. Let him get his moment. It could be second match in Mania, which everyone knows is like a slap in the face, but whatever. Let him have his moment. Let him go back to the announce table, whether it's NXT or SmackDown. And let him always bring up the fact whenever he has to share a table with Pat McAfee, I have a WrestleMania win over you, because that's what Michael Cole used to do
to Corey,
to King.
Oh, yes.
He's like, I'm undefeated at WrestleMania because when Michael Cole's officially done, the team we're gonna have is Pat McAfee and Corey Graves, and that's what I need. I need all set up.
Wow, could it be a work? That's a really good shout out. You might be onto something. I mean, I'm taking that tweet right now at face value. I don't even know what to say. That could be him airing his frustrations out, or it could be a work. We might be worked into a work here, brother. Last, but certainly not least, the street fight. What did you think about this? I thought there was some weird pacing in this. I thought the stretcher thing was kind of pointless.
I wish the stretcher thing would have been Zack Ryder in a wheelchair kind of finish. You know what I'm going with. Like, he's already in there. Yeah. I don't like my dude was in a stretcher, and then all of a sudden his boys come out, and all of a sudden he could hit the coup de grace and then wrestle by himself. I don't like that. It should have been, if you were going to do the stretcher thing, do the Rey Mysterio spot where he gets frog splashed. Do the, you know what I'm saying, flip it over. You're strong enough. Maybe you could pick up the thing and do like Big Show did and toss him. You know what I'm saying? Throw him off the ramp like Zack Ryder got tossed. There's a lot of ways to do that. I don't know. I agree. It dragged a little longer than it needed to be, or maybe the spot was just too early.
That's what I'm thinking here. That for me, I felt like this match wasn't supposed to end. Like, I felt like they were trying to, like, the false, like, I don't understand. Like, listen, from an action standpoint, this was fun. This was a great main event.
Yes.
You know, if we're going to nitpick things, and, you know, me and Nit Ram, sometimes we like to nitpick. For me, it was like, okay, if you're going to do that broken arrow spot, either one of two things is going to happen. Either you should have made this a false count anywhere match and have Priest pin him right then and there, wrap it up, done. Feud's over with an impact, with a memorable moment. Or, you know, call off the match and then, you know, blow it towards Saturday night's main event and then have one final interaction between these two and then send them on their merry ways. To have them go stretcher, put a neck brace on him. First of all, put the neck brace on him, then put him on a stretcher, then have Priest wheel him back to the ring, which was very smooth when he because he rolled right back in the ring
Yeah.
perfectly. And then to have the Judgment Day come out, we got Beetlejuice. You got JD McFunko Beetlejuice tonight. Street Trash Carlito, beating up on him. Dirty Dom wasn't even there, was he?
Never came out for his boy.
Never came out. Finn told him to stay backstage. He stayed backstage. And then Priest goes on a Super Cena run and beats them all.
Yeah.
Questionable. That's the questionable part.
It's shout out to Finn for continuing to sell his neck, by the way, because he did. Every chair shot he was.
And then the War Raiders, and then the other thing, the War Raiders too. It's like, listen, why'd you guys come out so late? This guy just got a coup de grace, got his head in a chair, lined up for another chair shot, and then you guys just get your merry way down there.
Also, why is it that the biggest guy on the roster, only friends are the biggest guys on the roster?
They're all rock stars, bro. They're all, they all have this in common. They all do this, they're all rocking out. They all wear leather. They all wear leather. They got a lot of jackets with zippers on them. That's it. That's all it takes.
If you were to ask somebody what was the main event of the second episode of Netflix, I think people would generally forget this.
Really?
Yeah, this wasn't a memorable moment for me. It's I TV filler at best, but when it ended, I felt like I was robbed of something.
I felt like this should have been the Women's Intercontinental Championship should have main evented.
Yes. And on a beautiful note.
And on the pyro. That's it. That's your ending of the show. I mean, albeit, I think you got to send Priest to SmackDown now.
Oh, that's such a good shout.
What else can Priest do on Raw? Win the world title again?
If you send Finn to SmackDown,
keep Priest
then
on
he
Raw.
can make one more argument at Gunther. I have no one to do it now. You know what I mean? One more argument is all I can see you stretching out of him.
That's it. I mean, he
was still champion, Puerto Rican champ. We're not cousins, but we could be.
Could be, might be. You got to look at the Ancestry.com, brother. I think you have this issue here where it's like, all right, where do you put Priest? Because obviously Priest ain't beating Cody Rhodes.
Right.
You can't turn. I don't think you can turn Priest heel again. I think the crowd likes him too much now. At least for now. I think you can maybe in the future. There's a possibility there.
He's too big for the mid card at this moment.
It's
the same thing with Jey Uso. Jey Uso should be an Intercontinental champion. He's too big for it.
Yeah, he's too big for the mid card.
He's
world champion material. Both of these guys, Finn Balor too. Another name here. Yeah. At this point, he's perfect for the mid card, but like he could be, he should be in a conversation for the world title.
Right.
Should be.
But
should be. I don't know. Definitely night and day difference from last week to this week. That's what I'll say. Now, to finish this show off, my name is Mouthing Off with Mike. I like to mouth off. Nitram, agree or disagree? It's time for Triple H to take a long, hard look in the mirror. And it's time to make a call to Shawn Michaels on Tuesday nights because the state of the women's division, not great. Not great right now. SmackDown's women's division, good. Solid. Raw's, this is a problem.
Barely existent.
Huge problem. Not existent. Who's your women's division on Raw right now? Rhea, Liv, Raquel. That's it.
Live again.
Literally. Lyra, Dakota.
Dom somewhere in there, I think.
I haven't seen any of the other women that were in this Intercontinental Championship tournament. Raw was 2 hours for 3-4 months. All right. And I gave slack. I said, all right, we'll see what happens. 3 hours. Now we're doing whatever Raw, whatever Triple H feels like he wants Raw to be time-wise, that's what Raw is going to be. So how does that play? You didn't see Io Sky. You didn't see you didn't see Natty. You haven't seen Zelina Vega in months, in a month and a half. The PFC non-existent. What What the hell's going on here, dude?
Are the PFC on Raw?
They were.
Jesus. Yeah, no, you're right about that. I completely forgot about them.
Zoe and Shayna haven't been seen since the IC tournament. First round. Haven't seen Natty. She's on speed.
We had more TV time for Bayley, who said it wasn't in fact her show, than for any of the women that are actually on their roster.
Well, I think that's a preview of things to come. I think Bayley's coming to Raw. I think you're gonna see Liv, Raquel, and maybe Zelina go to SmackDown. I think Zelina has to go back to SmackDown right now.
I just need Zelina away from the LWO. She's never gonna be taken seriously when she's in groups.
She has to get out of the LWO, and I think if you really want to get crazy here, I think you got to think Andrade's there. He's fighting for a U.S. title. Zelina was his old mouthpiece, manager. So, I mean, you got to figure maybe you relink them up. They both win the U.S. title. Go for a run here.
What a freaking awesome image.
Right? I mean, you got to figure. I'm thinking outside the box. Maybe I'm thinking too outside the box. But
Mike, when Zelina Vega wins a title, I'm going to get your address, and I'm going to mail you a Puerto Rican flag.
I mean, I'll be honorary.
That's it.
Gladly.
When she comes out, you just gotta.
I do. You know me. How many times have we chopped it up? I'm a huge Zelina Vega guy. I've been a Zelina Vega guy for as long as I can remember, man. I thought she was so freaking good. Look, she may not be no freaking, what do you call it in the ring? She may not be no savant, but she's good. And she deserves, she's a good promo. She's got great comebacks. She can wrestle. And I think she's a perfect woman for the U.S. Championship. I think she is. You
know what? She's pretty enough to have those creepy fans on the internet. So
that's also true. Yeah, it's also true. Valid.
Valid. A lot of people in North Carolina are looking at Zelina Vega. You know what I mean?
Good God. Nah, but 100% Nitram. How do you? Because this is it. Obviously it's late. I want to wrap up the show here, send everybody home happy, but I would be remiss. You guys have heard me talk about this for going on almost 2 years now with Mouthing Off with Mike. The women's division on NXT is so freaking good. Mm-hmm. They get 2 hours a week. Triple H, I can't stress this enough. Figure it out with Raw. There's no excuses now. You can make the show however long you want it to be. You could have had 2 women's matches tonight. There's no excuses. No excuses. None.
And you know what the shitty part about it is, Mike? You got to put $1 in that swear jar because we're going to do the problem with this.
We're at like $25 tonight. It's fine.
The problem with this is as long as SmackDown and Raw don't give a damn about their women's division, on the other side, AEW never gives a damn about their women's division because they have no reason to compete at this point. And that's the problem, is that until one of them steps up their women's division, neither one will. And that sucks.
That's the sad reality of the situation, is because NXT is up ahead, shoulders above AEW, WWE, and dare I would say right now, Impact, TNA. Yeah, you heard me. How many times I used to say TNA's women's division, I'll put them against any women's division in WWE against the world. Now, with the state and the affairs of that women's division, I don't even want to touch on that subject because that's not a conversation.
We're not getting
tonight.
On Tesla.
Yeah, I'm not getting in that. No way. But Jordan Grace, we'll see you in the Royal Rumble, girl. I see you. That contract, that ink is waiting to be signed on those contract papers. January 31st can't come soon enough for that woman.
I think we'll see Masha as well.
Masha too. I think you got to send her to NXT first.
No. I think just to repeat what happened last year, where Naomi was former champion, she was in WWE. Jordan came out, and now you do it. Jordan's in WWE, former champion. Masha comes out.
I'm mad at that.
Just
Masha. I mean, we haven't seen really too much with this TNA partnership since the fall, so nothing really happening there.
Since definitely nothing's happening now that the racism's in the brand. You know what I mean?
Oh boy.
Yeah. Real American beer over there in a female version.
Shout out Chelsea Green. Shout out Deanna Purrazzo.
100%.
Shout out to all the women. I got their backs, man. That's a tough situation overall. Can't wait to see Jordan in the Royal Rumble though. Can't wait to see Joe Hendry.
She won't win.
Maybe Masha.
Roxanne Perez is winning the Rumble, Mike. You heard it here first. Roxanne Perez is going to be the first NXT superstar, man or female, to win the Rumble and get their debut match, solos match at WrestleMania. She's the prodigy.
Roxanne versus Tiffany. Little call back to the NXT days. Damn.
Yes.
I love it, Nitram. All right, man. We've reached the end. I don't have anything else to talk about. I don't have anything else to mouth off about. So, Nitram, tell the people what's going on, where they can find you, Four Sides of the Ring, all the fun stuff that you guys got coming up. Excuse me. I got some heartburn, I guess.
Too spicy of a combo.
Too spicy of a combo.
Mike ate too much white bread.
Hold on a sec. Time out. I am not. If anything, dog, I'm like them Eagles boys, man. I'm an exciting white. You know what I'm saying? I'm like my man Cooper DeJohn and my man Reed Blankenship for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm part of the exciting whites. Give me some credit.
You can find me on X at NITRAM_4SOTR. That's NITRAM_4SOTR. Can't catch me on TikTok because they're getting rid of it, but they don't like me on there anyway. So it is what it is. I'm with my buddy Mike. We always have a blast. Thank you for having me, bro.
Thank you for coming on. Penta, it was great getting to interview you here after your debut match on Monday Night Raw. Go head over to Four Sides of the Ring here, right on YouTube. Just search Four Sides of the Ring, video pop up. Go subscribe. Go show the boys some love. You heard? This has been the Nightcap. I will be back Friday night for SmackDown. So until then, I'll see y'all here back, same place, same time, Friday night on Boom Broadcasting. Thanks for watching the Nightcap, guys. We're out of here. Bye. Bye, guys.